Election Day. It's the day where we all come and place our ballot in a box, or maybe just type it in online, or just chuck it in a letter and throw it to the government to elect a new president. No, that's not how it works. Today I'm going to be telling you about the Electoral College and how America really votes. So there's a common belief amongst children that people vote for the president directly, and the more votes the president gets, he's going to win, obvious. Well, now let's take a look at the most recent election. Biden won less states than Trump, yet Biden still won. Why? Because of the Electoral College. And that is what I will be explaining today. Disclaimer, this is for kids, because if you're an adult, you obviously heard about it in the news. Now, this system works pretty simply. Each of the 50 states, including Washington, D.C., I don't understand how the president gets to vote for president, but I don't know, it's just what they do. Each one gets a different number of votes. For example, California, which has a very large population, gets around 55 votes. California, therefore, is the most desirable of all the states. Sadly, one reason why this system is corrupt is because the states don't need to choose a different one every single year. California, they're almost every single time Democrat. Same thing for Texas. Texas, it's always the same thing. New York, always the same thing. So that's one big flaw. Okay, so now here we see Trump, he won more states, but all the states were, listen, worthless. And although Biden did not get the other states like Texas and that stuff, he did get the most valuable of all of those states, which was, of course, the 55-vote state, California. He also got New York, which is, if you ask me, highly populous and is very valuable for an election. But of course, both of them were always going to vote for Democrats. So yeah, that's the major flaw in this. Now, another thing is that we don't vote for president, okay? We vote for our state's electors to vote for president. Yet, if in the state everybody votes for that president, the electors don't need to listen. These are basically illegal, but if you're an elector, you don't need to follow the laws. I mean, nobody even knows who's president right now, so yeah. Anybody's president, you can do whatever the hell you want. You're supposed to put a fine on anybody who breaks this rule, but no one cares. It's election day. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. Oh, my state, everybody in this state wants Trump. Well, then I'm going to vote for Biden. So that's pretty corrupt because, you won't be voting for that. Literally. Everybody in one country could be voting for one guy, yet the other guy won because the representatives were no, I like this other guy, not the one that everybody voted for, so yeah. And that, my friends, is illegal, but nobody cares. Nobody's caring about that because nobody's doing anything about that. That's just how it is. The law is not anything. If it is illegal, then it's legal and anybody can break it. Boom. Done. Now, the Electoral College is basically what it sounds like. You know, college, how it's really hard to get everybody together and really complicated, and one person is like, hey, I want this, and then somebody else just picks up a machine gun and kills everybody as like somebody else. I want somebody else. That's basically what the Electoral College is like. The people vote for one man, and the state is like, oh, you like Trump? Got it? Then Biden it is. So that's just really corrupt system. No wonder like 70% of the entire population who votes hates the Electoral College, if they know what the Electoral College is. Not all kids understand the Electoral College, but I understand it, dude. Now the Electoral College, let's just take a moment to not talk about how it works, but why it should not be a thing. Now here we see a major problem. You see, for example, Texas, its population, it should get 40 votes. But it doesn't have 40 votes. It has 38 votes. Why? Well, because there is a certain number of representatives in the entire country. And that is 535. The reason why is because there's like 100 of one type and like 438 of the other type, I guess. But here we come with a problem. Texas should have 40 votes, but instead of 38. What about the 2? That 2 goes to places like Rhode Island. Its population should have 2. But those 2 extra votes are put straight onto Rhode Island, and boom, Rhode Island has 4 votes. Now this is pretty weird. Like Virginia doesn't have anybody in it, yet it's so high. And New York, it should have like 30. And it doesn't have 30, it's like 29. It's just really, it doesn't make any sense, okay? The Electoral College, it just sounds like a voting system on how to like vote on which chicken should we kill and which chicken should we wait. That's a thing? Wow. And they use the Electoral College for it? Wow, the Electoral College is pretty dumb. And now you might be asking, well, Andrew, like without the Electoral College, all of the small states would not get the attention it needs. Oh my God, you are so correct. Did you know that nobody cares about the small states anyways? And then you might be like, but this is not democracy, this is a republic. That's just how it is. It's not too republic-y and it's not too democracy. It is simply just a giant blister of blunders with an elephant and a donkey, the Republicans and the Democrats, because that's what they just are, and they're squabbling around. And even if one of them gets more votes, more states to vote for them, they still have a high chance of losing. That's the Electoral College, the way I can say it. It is complicated, and I hope that we all can hate this system together.